Hey guys, it's Adam. I hope you're doing lovely. Welcome back to Do You Watch Anime, where it's a show where I sit down with a guest and ask them, Do you watch anime? And we go from there. And today, joining me is voice actor of such shows from AOT to Vinland Saga, and he's also just a small little straw hat named Jinbe from One Piece. Daniel Baugh, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show. So do you watch anime?
I do not. Not at all. No, I do. I guess you would say, but with
Yeah.
an asterisk,
Hmm.
and I'll explain that.
Perfect.
My history with anime goes way back, and we're talking about early '70s when I was
Oh
about eight
wow.
years old.
Okay.
Uh, I would come home from school and watch Speed Racer every afternoon. My school buddies were in the Speed Racer. We'd make little cars out of uh, just the paper and staple them together, put wadding in there, make these three-dimensional race cars and stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy. That was my first experience with anime. Shortly after that, I mean, probably about the same time, there was an anime called King Kong Story or something like that.
Okay.
It was basically King Kong. It was another Translux thing who also did, I think, Felix the Cat and stuff
Oh,
like that
okay. Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um, then fast forward, I guess, until like the '90s. I guess I don't know exactly when, but
Hmm.
I uh, I saw a couple of shows of the Battleship Yamato, the
Okay. Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Blazers,
Hmm.
I think it's Star Blazers,
Yeah.
and there was another title for it. Did I write it down? Thought I did. No, another show, G Force.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I watched that with all the different guys in
Hmm.
the bird suits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I watched that, and then I didn't watch basically anything for a long period of time.
Hmm.
I eventually landed in a bookstore, and close to our bookstore there was an anime bookstore that opened up, and this was, I guess, about '96 or '7, which I think is kind of like, or maybe it's a little earlier than that. It seems like it was like the first round of heyday of anime being popular in the area, and then that's when all the stores started popping up that I never saw. I never was really exposed to it,
Hmm.
and then I I didn't watch any for years, and but during the same time, I was a stage actor, and I was directing a show which had other actors there that had done anime,
Okay.
and I found it very intriguing. Of asking about it, they were like, "Oh yeah, there's that person's a cartoon character," and I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then they said, "Yeah, Japanese anime." So I started
Hmm.
learning about it, and then I asked him, I'd like to kind of do this just
Hmm.
as a lark. I mean, I don't have anything to lose. It'd be kind of fun. I've never done anything like this.
Yeah.
So I asked them, what do I really need to do to do this? And so they gave me a contact email, but they said, yeah, you're going to have to go out and, make a demo tape and stuff. And so I happen to know some people that worked, that do recordings and train and stuff. And so I put something together, submitted it. They called me in for background stuff, which is called Walla.
Hmm.
And usually you're in there with a whole bunch of other people, or you might be there for one or two people or by yourself. But in most cases, it's a group thing where you're recording like background noises, like if there's a stadium yelling,
Hmm.
yeah, go,
Yeah.
go, doing that for 5 minutes. Um, and so I was doing the show, and they said, okay, we're going to do this show. It's called One Piece. I'd never heard of it. Um, they said, okay, the first thing that you're going to do is, uh, or I was doing some background vocals, and they were trying to explain the show to me.
Yeah.
And if you ever try to explain One Piece to someone, it's kind of hard. But the very first instance I had with it, they said, "See this thing? This is a transponder snail,
Hell
and
yeah.
you talk into it like a telephone, and it
Yeah.
has the personality of whoever is using it." And if you look at this is a Jinbe one.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, I love that. So
Um,
cute.
so yeah, I was like, transponder snails, huh? That's a little different. And so I started getting hooked on that. And then it wasn't too long after that that one of the directors had heard me do the wallet and doing some extra lines and stuff, and they approached me to do the part of Jinbe. And at the time, I had no idea how big One Piece was
Yeah.
at all. I did, I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds like fun. That sounds like, and they said, okay, well, you're going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, and then you're not going to have any work for maybe a couple of years, but then you're going to come back and you're going to have a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. I recorded the Impel Down and arc, the Marineford arc,
Yeah.
and then Jinbei went away, and then while he was gone, I was gone. I did some, other little bit pieces. I've
Hmm.
done some other bit pieces in different shows,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that in just a second. Um, but I did Jinbei, and that's when I started to realize how big it was when I started getting all these fan emails from different parts of the world, like Philippines and Japan and
Oh, wow.
Germany and all these places, and I was like, wow, this is pretty big. There's a lot of people, and it started sinking in. I don't think to this day it's still fully has I still try to wrap up my head around the whole One Piece world realm, and it just keeps growing exponentially, just bigger and bigger with the live action and everything. And they're going to redo the anime and stuff. It's like it's never stops, and people already ask me, "Are you worried about it stopping?" Well, I'm old, so I'd like to finish the show before it ends.
Yeah.
um, I would be heartbroken, but it seems like there's always flashbacks and there's always movies,
Yeah.
and like One Piece Red, so
Oh,
there will probably always be some still like side movies and stuff done. I'm thinking, but yeah, my main goal though is just to outlive the show, its run. So if it goes for 10 more years, it might be a little dicey, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and to
hmm.
say that it's been life changing is an understatement.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Holy wow. Um, so wow. So going from a transponder snail to Jinbei, how is that kind of, did they go through like who he is as a character, or just kind of just here you go?
Well, they a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A lot of the directors up there, they give you the free will of being able to interpret your art,
Hmm.
as an actor and stuff. Um, but as for Jinbei, they basically gave me some background on him. They said he's this big fish man. Of course, I'm in the world of what. Um, he's part fish. He's
Yeah.
in this prison. He's huge. He's an ex warlord.
Hmm.
Okay, another red flag. Okay, warlord, ex fish man. He's kind of a gangster type. He was big and powerful, and he's down here, and he wants to save Ace. He's been staying with Ace, and his brother's coming to rescue him, and all this stuff. And so it's basically a big fish guy.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, big fish guy. And so they came out with the voice. And if you listen to the very early episodes of it, back then at the time, I was doing some theater with a British accent, and so there's a little bit of British accent that comes through on Jinbei, kind of regal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I was basically Luffy. We must get to Impel Down before it's too late to save Ace. I based all of that vocal on McGruff the Crime Dog. I
Oh
don't know
my
if you've
god.
ever seen those. So now you won't be able to hear McGruff the
Yeah.
Crime Dog without hearing Jinbei, or vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that big gruff thing. We want something big and gruff. So I did McGruff the Crime Dog and
Yeah.
kind of morphed into it. It's a little bit different. I've gone back and listened to McGruff the Crime Dog, and it's not exact, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of that way. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's basically what they gave me to work with. And
Hmm.
then as I was watching the show, I was always trying to watch the episodes that I was about to do. So I would get, a really good feeling of what they do, because they do allow you to do that in the booth, but they give you seconds.
Yeah.
They show the video clip and they say, okay, give you maybe 2 or 3 lines of background on it, and then roll with it.
Yeah.
So that's where being an actor, a regular actor, and so many voice actors started out as regular actors,
Oh
stage
yeah.
actors, and stuff. That's where that comes comes to help you more than just about anything else, is being able to read the character, develop the character all in your head within a couple of seconds, and then throw something out there. And the director will either like it or they won't, and they'll
Mhm.
either say, "Yeah, it's great," or they'll say, "Hey, try this." And then you'll try that, and if that's still not that way, they might even say, "Do it exactly like this," and they'll give their interpretation. And
Yeah.
go, okay, and then yeah, that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. And but also the engineers that are in there in the booth. It's the voice guy in the booth and the engineer and the director outside the booth.
Mhm.
And it's the engineer is the unsung hero of anime.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make everybody sound great. They fix things, they change things, they make everything better, and they hardly ever get any recognition. It's usually the actors or the directors or something.
Mhm.
But the engineers really are the backbone of the industry. They can't get enough of my praise. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So what is your favorite part about playing Jinbe?
Um, I like that he's not an asshole. Can I say
Mhm.
asshole on your show? I
Oh
hope
yeah,
so.
that's fine.
Okay. Um, uh, I did a character on Attack on Titan called Roger,
Yeah.
and he was kind of a military guy,
Mhm.
and he looks like Lance Armstrong, and he has
Yep.
the moral compass of Lance Armstrong, I think. He was kind of a jerk,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, I got a part with a name on it, but he's a jerk." But he didn't die,
Yeah.
so there was always the chance of him coming back. So I was always, "Oh, he might come back to be a jerk some more."
Yeah.
But I like the part about Jinbei that he's so honorable,
Mhm.
and he was always trying to do things to help out the island. And when I say that to people, sometimes they'll say, "But yeah, but he betrayed Big Mom." I said, "Well, he had a reason,
Yeah.
and it was to help Luffy." And that it's he's not being hypocritical there. He is still very, very loyal, but he's such an upstanding character, and now he's like become like the father figure or the uncle, protective
Yeah.
uncle or whatever of the ship. He
Yep.
usually has the most even keel presence. He uses the most well. He has a lot of logic behind his decisions and stuff. He's not as erratic as like Luffy by any means. Um, but yeah, it's been fun. My house is slowly becoming a Jinbei museum. Um,
I love it.
it started out small.
Yeah.
I swore I wasn't gonna do this. I told my wife I wasn't gonna do it, and it's starting to grow.
Yeah.
Um, so I brought a few things
Okay.
that I've collected along the way that mean a lot to me. Just a couple here. This one is something I got off of eBay.
Okay.
This is a popcorn
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
holding devil fruit
Oh.
from the One Piece Red premiere in
Oh my
Japan.
god, I love
I paid
that.
like 50, $60 for it to get it mailed to me. It's probably worth $2, $3. Um, and this is probably my prized possession. This was from my very first con. Um, there was this booth where the woman, I hope this shows through. The woman made bejeweled
Oh my
Jinbei
god. Yeah, I see
by
that now.
hand, attached
Holy
every one of these by hand.
Oh my god. That is insane.
It is awesome.
That is
I
so
just
awesome.
loved it. And she only charged like $40 for it or something. It
What?
was insane.
I was like, what, 200, $300?
I
Like,
love it.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my
And
god.
one last final thing I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
Well, real quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
I did find this what is it? Cross stitch
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh thing. I think I paid for that one. And then
Mhm.
I've had people give me coasters. I these like metal, and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
guess people think I drink a lot. but I tend to get coasters a lot. Fans at cons are very generous. Sometimes I'll try to get something from them, and they won't take my money. And I say, "Look, I know you're paying $400 for this 2x2 place.
Yeah.
Please let me buy it from you." And they'll, no, 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 please take it. So they're very generous. And a lot of people that come up and get stuff signed will give me little trinkets. And what I did was I got a little treasure chest and I started keeping all the little things that people have
Oh,
given me.
I
Things
love
like
that.
um, a Jinbe dish from
Oh yeah.
Japan.
Ooh, that's sick.
And this was real cool. This was from the last one. A
Hmm.
guy takes playing cards. This might not be able to see it, but he
Oh.
carves out every little
Oh.
line and makes it
Yeah, I
like a
see that.
3D cutout
Oh my God.
card.
Good
Yeah,
Lord. That's
yeah,
insane.
incredible. It must have taken him hours.
Yeah.
Um, a guy made me uh, a Sun Pirates wallet with
Yo, that's
leather.
sick.
And the feather hanging off of it was from a parrot that visited me at one of the
Oh.
cons. He was the parrot from one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Oh, cool.
You got this little bitty devil fruit.
Oh, I love it.
And a whole bunch of just little bitty things like this little handmade Jinbe, this
Oh,
itty bitty guy.
it's so cute.
And and this last one today or this last weekend, um, someone gave me a little balloon animal. Sometimes these little trinkets aren't anything to do with One Piece. People just like giving me little things,
I
and
love it.
yeah, it's really nice and sweet,
Hmm.
and it kind of freaks me out a little bit, but it's also fun.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it just shows you how much the show really means to people.
Hmm.
It's that's the incredible thing about the show, and the fans are the ones that keep me wanting to go to these signings and stuff because
Hmm.
the show's just so big and just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up with One Piece. Up here in Canada, we had these like little Shonen Jump monthly things that would come in like every month, and like I was like, "Ooh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god!" And I like grabbed it, and then I read it, and I was like, "What is this? What is this pirate mong? What is this pirate comic?" Hmm. And then I saw it. I saw the 4Kids dub when it premiered in Canada, and I was like, "Uh-oh, this is so good." Um, and I've been following it since, and then um, yeah, and Jinbei's such a good character, like literally one of my favorite Straw Hats, and I just want to give him a hug, like literally looks like the most huggable character.
He does. Luffy can stretch his arms around him. It's
Yeah,
funny.
exactly. Oh.
Yeah, I'm so happy that Jinbei's a good guy,
Mhm.
and it looks like if he didn't lose his life, spoiler alert, if he didn't lose his life with Big Mom's wheel,
Yeah.
then I'm pretty sure he's going to make it to the end of the show
Yeah.
without being killed.
Yeah.
Of
Let's
course, when like
Hey guys, I hope you're doing lovely. Welcome to the Patreon shout out portion of the podcast. And today, I'd like to shout out our lovely patrons. If you want to subscribe, there are some amazing perks to being a Patreon subscriber. That being exclusive videos, BTS, guest announcements, all that fun stuff. Go subscribe, it really helps me out. Thank you to Keith, Geo, Blythe, Brooke, Buff Boy, Bunny, and Mikey. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and it really means the world to me. And yeah, let's get back to the episode. Yeah, I'm always like, please just don't kill any of the main, please. Please.
right.
Yeah, oh my god. So speaking of Roger from AOT, how is it going from Jinbei, who's like a good guy, like just like this lovable guy, to Roger, who's an asshole?
It's easier, much easier for me to play an asshole. Um, I when I was on stage, I was playing Edward Hyde from um, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
Yeah.
um, Jack the Ripper,
Mhm.
um, a Frankenstein type monster, a hunchback type monster. I've been kind of pigeonholed on my stage roles to I was always the heavy or the villain or the monster.
Mhm.
Uh, Doing voiceover, with the exception of those two parts, I'm usually a hobo of some sort.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you need a hobo, I am your guy. I can do the greatest hobo. But I was, back on the theater, we'd always do pirates, arr, and
Yeah.
monsters, and all kinds of stuff. So it just kind of flew into it. But
Mhm.
being a heavy, being evil is always, it's more fun. It's not more fun, but um, it's great in its own way, but it's a lot easier. However, I did have a hard time, like on a lot of shows, not doing Jinbe's voice when they needed someone that was similar but not like him,
Yeah.
not exactly like him,
Mhm.
and so uh, Jinbe would start slipping out, and the director would let you know, okay, that was a
Yeah.
little too gruff Jinbe in there for me.
Yeah.
Uh, try to open that up a little bit. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's a totally different character. Then I got to I played this alien um, psycho killer mobster Jim Mino on Blood Battle Beyond or something like that. I can't remember
Mhm.
the name of it. Is that the name of it? He was an evil guy, and
Yeah.
that was a fun show. Um, but a lot of my roles are the ones that I've done with Crunchyroll are what's known as additional characters, where you're basically come in and do a couple lines and leave, and don't really have a name.
Mhm.
Might say hobo number two. And so I've done a lot of those. So a lot of shows I've been on, I've never seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen that one clip that I did, and
Yeah.
that was it. A lot of
Yeah.
times I didn't go back. However, on Attack on Titan, I
Mhm.
did go back and start to watch the show, and I probably got about 3 or 4 episodes in, and it kind of wasn't violent enough for me. I was
Oh,
really wanting
wow.
more. Yeah, I know. I'm sick. Um, yeah, and but I did like Death Note. I
Okay.
watched all of Death Note, and I
Mhm.
thought that was really well done.
Yeah, that one's
Um,
so good.
and one character what show, I have no clue what show it was,
Yeah.
but I was a piece of happy, content seaweed. They said, so you're a piece of seaweed and you're floating in the ocean and you're very happy and content. Go. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's good enough for us." That was it. I got paid to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the greatest job in the world.
Mhm.
Um, you don't have to, as comparing it to like doing stage work, you don't have to put in the rehearsal hours. Yeah, you go in wearing what you want.
Yeah.
It's you you have booked appointments, and then
Mhm.
that's it. But having said that, there's no greater feeling than performing on a stage in front of a live audience.
Yes.
That rush is
Mhm.
incredible. So that it's always worth it. And I wish I could do more of that, but age is creeping up on me to where being a voice actor is the best way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So speaking of, like, theater and acting, how did you get into that kind of space?
Well, I guess that I was always an actor.
Mhm.
I was doing my old man bit. um Entertaining my friends back when we were like 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
And in high school, I was just going to Rocky Horror all the
Oh,
time,
hell
and acting
yeah.
out the things
Yeah.
in front of the stage and stuff. Um, and then got into college and changed my degree several times. But to keep my grade point average up, I always took theater classes because it was fun.
Yeah.
Um, and so I started doing shows with that, and then I was in the real world working, and I didn't do anything for quite a long time, and then I ran into a friend while I was working at the bookstore who was an active director at this place called the Pocket Sandwich Theater in Dallas.
Mhm.
And uh, he wanted me to come try out for some shows, and I did, and kind of started there, and um, did several shows there. I also did. I worked at a bookstore for Half Price Books. I did a couple of training videos for them, like industrial work, I guess you'd call it. Uh, in one of them, I played Rod Serling from Night Gallery, so that was fun. But yeah, it's always been something creepy or dark.
Yeah.
I'm not the leading man type. My mom
Yeah.
wishes I was. Very first time she saw me on stage, I was in a wheelchair. I surprised her. I come rolling out, and she freaked out. She did not like that at all. She said, "I don't see my baby in a wheelchair."
Oh my god.
You know how moms are.
Yeah.
She goes like, "Why can't you be the guy who gets the girl?" Not my style. I might kill her. Stuff her in the trunk.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah, good times, good
Yeah.
times. But yeah, a lot of my shows, yeah, I have no idea if they're even. I guess they're good.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's real. It's so much fun,
Mhm.
and I hope I can continue to do this for a while. Like I said, I just retired from the bookstore from 30 years of lifting books and stuff, and this is what I like doing. I Going back to the very first of our conversation here,
Yeah.
I did this as a lark. I never wanted fame
Yeah.
to be thrust upon me. It
Mhm.
was. Um, and I suffer from anxiety, so
Mm.
sometimes these cons can be a little overwhelming.
100%.
Yeah. Um, but usually pretty good because I'm also the actor, so I'm always usually bubbly, outgoing, and I can turn it on and off and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still the anxiety can cripple me.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
um, but I did it as a lark, and this all fell into place, and I liked doing it, and I want to do more.
Mhm.
But I don't want to do too much more. I don't want to. I'm not like when I sit up on a panel. I feel kind of embarrassed because, like, everybody's like, "Yeah, I was voice working for 8 years, and I finally got this show," and I'm like, "Well, it just kind of fell into my lap. I didn't really think about it,
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and maybe that's the best way.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have freaked out if I had known about how big it was
Yeah.
and everything. And but I love the whole One Piece world, the fame of it, not the
Yeah.
fame of it. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a
Yeah.
jerk. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to be famous. I don't want
Yeah.
people coming to my house or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but the whole fandom
Mhm.
of it, I love it. I love walking around in the cons, looking at the different anime shows and stuff, and the stuff
Mhm.
that's for sale. I notice with One Piece, it's always Luffy and Zoro. You might have a Nami something, and that's about it. Or
Yeah.
you'll have a group picture of the crew without Jinbe,
Yep.
and there's a lot of that. A lot of merchandise is stuck on shelves, with the Jinbe clearance.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would love
Yeah.
another pops and keep this party train going.
Mhm.
Uh, but it's the whole fandom of it has just been just crazy. The fans have been extremely wonderful, and I see how it can mean so much to them.
Yeah.
In a lot of animes, it's a show. Like I guess you could have the same attachments to it, but every time someone comes up to me and they talk to me about One Piece, you just feel how much the show means to them.
Mhm.
And some of them have challenges in their life, and that's their support, and that's their life. That's their whole universe is that One Piece. And so, if I can make them happy when they come up and talk to me and everything, I love doing that. It makes my day.
Mhm.
Um, but the show, because of all the different aspects to it, someone always finds something to identify with it. And so they always have some kind of story about it and or how they were down and the show got them through a tough time and everything. And it's really heartwarming and it pulls at your strings when you see how it has helped people. Um, so the whole thing of it just it's like I said, it's amazing. It blows my mind.
Mhm.
Uh, Trying to get myself around it. Um, but yeah, it's just so incredible. And but it's been a blessing. It's nothing that I've hated or regretted. I hope they don't kick me out, or I'll go kicking and screaming on the way out. Um, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun,
Mhm.
and I want to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what is your favorite part about like One Piece as like a story?
Hmm. Good question. Um, I do like how the arcs intertwine kind of as they go,
Mhm.
but going back to Oda, he's such a genius that he can put an Easter egg in chapter 4 and 1,000 episodes later you'll go back to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Jinbe has the record for the longest period of time where a character was introduced in the series and to where the character actually showed up in the series.
Wow.
And yeah, and so I got that tidbit for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, his brain. Oh my god, he's a mad genius. I'd love to
Mhm.
meet him sometime.
Oh yeah.
Um, but all the different things that he has in his head, and it's just it blows me away, his imagination and where it goes and how he comes up with stuff. Like we just I just finished the Jetsons Island.
Egghead.
Bubblicious. What was it called? Uh, uh, Punk.
Egghead? Is that it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say.
There we go.
Egghead. I kept thinking Punk Records.
Yeah.
That's all I could see in my head was Punk Records. How'd I get up there?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and that was like after Wano was so beautiful. It
Oh.
was so Japanese. And I love Japanese architecture and stuff. So
Mhm.
I was in heaven.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Stay here a while. Keep doing
Mhm.
stuff. Um, and then they went to Egghead, and I was like, well, how can you top that? You know, and then it was like the Jetsons, and
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was futuristic, but it wasn't like too futuristic, but it all had a different slant to it.
Yeah.
And another part about Jinbei that I like is his development, not only going towards the more respectable controller of the group,
Mhm.
um, but his humor. He
Oh my god,
finally gets to
yes.
show some humor, and
Finally.
and and that, I guess it started back when he was first telling the other fishmen that he was going to go join Luffy's crew,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, you sure seem to like him a lot," kind of
Yeah.
edge him and stuff, and that's when you first started seeing some of the humor come out in him. And I love when I get more of a range because so up until that point, it was nothing but Luffy, we must go now, and that was it.
Yep.
His main line was Luffy.
Yep.
So yeah, so I like how he's evolved.
Mhm.
I was reading some articles about, and I'm a fan of One Piece. I don't know if you can tell.
Just a little
Um,
bit.
I'm not the most hardcore of fans. I haven't really watched Skypiea,
Wow.
but
Yep.
I try to keep up with. I don't want to know too much. I don't want to know what Jinbei doesn't know. I don't want it to mess up my performance by having like an inside
Yeah.
to it that he doesn't know,
No,
and that
that's
could come through subconsciously.
mhm.
So I used to like flip through the manga
Mhm.
and manga and read it, and I didn't want to do that because there was so much spoiler activity
Mhm.
to it. And so now I'll still watch the Japanese show, but usually I'll just skim ahead on my computer until I see the big blue blob. Like, there it is,
Yep.
and click it, and I see his part. That way I can tend to ignore stuff. But sometimes I see something, I go, I gotta watch this. Like that fight with Eustace Kid.
Yep.
Yeah, that was wow.
Yep.
Yeah, but I haven't watched this last week's episode, so I don't know what's going on there. But I'll probably do that after the debate tonight. Mm. Y'all, you're in Canada. You don't have to
Oh
worry about
yeah.
this
Yeah, we
madness.
don't have to.
It's
Oh no.
crazy
I
here.
know.
Run,
I know.
run away from America.
Yeah.
Try to push Canada up to the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, we won't go there. But anyway, I love Canada. Y'all got back bacon,
Yep. Oh, so
American
good.
bacon,
Yep.
got back cheese, American cheese. I like those Canadian maple leafs, those little silver coins are
Oh yeah.
worth about $35. So if anybody's got any of those to give to me, I love them for Christmas.
There you go. So what
What
has
what part of Canada are you in?
I'm in Toronto.
Toronto. Who is
Yeah.
from Toronto that I just do you know where no, this is Ontario. I just watched on the plane
Yeah.
The Fall Guy.
Oh
Did you
yeah, yeah,
see
yeah. Yeah.
I loved it.
That was a good
And
movie.
so I was like Googling Ryan Gosling because it's like he's becoming one of my favorite actors. And it said he was from London,
Yeah, that's
Ontario.
where I was kind of like born. So born and
Okay.
raised there. So yeah.
Because he spoke a little French in the movie and it
Yeah.
sounded very natural. And so I figure everybody up there has to know a little bit of
A
French
little
or at
bit.
least how to say it.
Yeah, a little bit. If they talk to me, I'll kind of know, but if I say I can't speak it, I
Bonjour, madame.
yeah,
Comment allez-vous?
exactly, exactly.
You're from Texas, ain't you?
Yeah. So I also can't believe that AOT was too not violent for you.
Well, yeah, the first like what was it, 20 minutes or so?
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is
yeah,
cool. So yeah, I guess it was just it was okay. I guess it just went a little slow for me. I
yeah,
was expecting more Godzilla type rampaging.
yeah. That's valid. Yeah, oh yeah, I remember because I binged it through the pandemic. And I was like, "Oh, next episode. Oh, I need to know." Um, but
And it's
yeah,
crazy how shows can do that to you.
it's
What the
insane.
show? How and then they talk about how you could feel depressed after binging a show and you go into a depression. I don't think I've ever gone into a depression. I kind of sometimes I've wanted a little bit more and everything,
Yeah,
but sometimes I feel like shows in the way they should, and that's it.
yeah,
At least I got the chance to watch it and stuff.
yeah, exactly. I haven't gotten quote unquote depressed, but I'm just like, "Oh, it's over. First episode again." Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm usually that way with movies. If I'm watching a movie, and
Mhm.
I like horror movies,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll flip on something that haven't seen or anything or know anything about. And if in the first 5 minutes there's a group of teenagers, I'm out. I'm like, man, really? It's got to go this route.
Yeah.
Like I'm too old for that shit. I really am.
Yep,
Give me
that's
something
valid.
else. Give me
Yeah,
something else.
yeah,
Alien,
yep,
something.
yep. I've done that with anime where I'm like, "All right, let's watch this anime." And it's like in this high school and I was like, "Next."
I played a like a something in one of the high school. What was the show with the big smiley head dude?
Oh, Assassination Classroom, that's it.
Yeah, I played like this high school judge.
Yeah,
He was like a middle-aged guy, and he was just like judging some kind of competition or something.
yeah,
And I had like two lines.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that big yellow head thing. And so yeah, I name shows from how I describe them, like big yellow head show,
Yeah.
or um, the girl in the sailor outfit show. I don't know the particulars.
Yeah, of course. I mean, um,
Everything I've learned from cons walking around. I noticed
exactly.
that there's always one aisle that has nothing but like the sexy stuff.
Yep.
And it gets creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to walk down that thing.
Yeah, someone on Twitter's like, "The voice of Jinbe is walking down the hentai section."
Right. He's really looking at stuff.
Yeah.
I saw something I sent to my director.
Yeah.
It was a mouse pad, but the cushion of the mouse pad was two big butt cheeks of Luffy. And so it was Luffy with his back turned, looking over his back with his butt cheeks out.
Yeah.
I would have got it, but it was $35. I was like,
Woo!
that's a little high
Yeah.
one laugh.
Yeah. I need a Jinbe body pillow that's like this.
Right? Yeah, I am starting to see more Jinbei merchandise. It's
Yeah.
taken a while.
Yeah.
At first, you couldn't find
Nope.
anything. I was having to go online. But yeah, starting to see more stuff, and people, like I said, people will like bring me little things and stuff, or
Mhm.
show me things that they have that look what I just got, and I always think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love, I've just been starting to do, like, guesting at cons as well. So, like, I think it was March, I had a lineup and I'm like, "This is a lot of people. How" and then, like, the meet and greet finished, and I was like, "I am exhausted."
Yeah,
How do you keep up the energy while doing these meet and greets?
I'll tell you, I go into an adrenaline mode, and if it's a slow con where just somebody comes up and trickles in every once in a while or something for
Mhm.
whatever reason, I'll get up and walk around and look at stuff because I get bored easy.
Yeah.
But I love it when there's a line,
Mhm.
and I've been blessed with having some lines,
Yeah.
and it makes the time go by so much faster. Um, it's like an adrenaline rush, like almost when you're gambling. I don't know if you're a gambler. If
Yeah.
you've ever been to a casino and you start to win, you start getting a
Yeah.
little nervous because of all the money you win, and you say, it starts giving you willies. Um, so that's what was kind of happening with me is
Mhm.
I will start signing and I'll get into the zone and I won't even get hungry. People go, "What do you want to eat?" And I'm like, I just don't want anything.
Yeah.
I'll take some water.
Yeah.
I usually don't get an appetite till later on. If it's a 2 day show,
Mhm.
I'll get an appetite a little bit. I have to take medication, so I know I have to eat,
Mhm.
but I'll end up just like buying a whole plate of quesadillas and eating like 2 bites, and that be it.
Yeah.
And I usually don't get an appetite back until like the after the con, the next day after that, my
Mhm.
food appetite starts coming back. But I get into this weird zone that
Yeah.
it just affects my metabolism. Other people like, yeah, I'll chew that pizza down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do it. I might be able to nibble here and there, but yeah, and that might change. I might get so comfortable that I do start pigging out more.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I I was like, "I need sugar, and that's all I need." I am as long as I have, like, a pop or a soda from where you guys are, um
I was looking at that
yeah.
the Fall Guy last night when I was watching it when he was talking to the drug addicts saying, "You're living off glucose. You need
Yeah.
some carbs
Yeah.
for normal functioning."
Yeah. Where I'm just
I
like, "No."
know that feeling of living off sugar
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like, "I am gonna be here
Caffeine.
for 2 hours, I need to"
It's
and then
amazing
I'll
when people come up and they say, "Well, what do you want from Starbucks?" I'm like, "Well, give me a grande vanilla latte with 7 sugars." 'Cause I'm trying to get diabetes by 3 PM, so, let's I need that sugar. I
Yep,
really do get a lot of sugar dumped into my
Jesus.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I,
syrup.
just like just the whole
It's
thing,
like a
just the
paste, like
yeah, like,
RoboCop's paste.
they have to use the blender to stir it, um, God, but yeah, I'm like, "I just need sugar, and I'll be good," and then it finishes, and I'm like, "I need 10 naps." Um Oh goodness. What was I gonna say? There was before we go, what's some advice you would give to aspiring actors or voice actors?
I'm glad you said that because I do
Mhm.
get a lot of emails from people that are doing that, and they're
Mhm.
wanting, some tutoring, or in some cases, they want me to just plain out mentor them. I don't have time for that. Uh, However, I can tell them what I did
Yeah.
and what most of the directors look for. Um, it's not all about just having funny voices.
Mhm.
Everybody's got a funny voice. Everybody,
Yeah.
um, maybe several, um, but it's a matter of being able to be adaptable and be professional. What you want to do though is to get the mechanics of it down to get really good. Take some theater courses. I don't care if it's high school theater,
Mhm.
community college, a pizza place that runs, little plays, churches,
Yep.
anything that does any kind of stage work or acting work. Do that. Get some acting chops underneath you. It'll help you develop your character when they spring something on you, saying, "Okay, this is a middle-aged housewife who just lost a kid. You do this."
Yeah.
You'll know how to act and how to say things, how to put that quiver in your voice, how
Mm-hmm.
to do things like that. And after you get the at least the basis of acting down, um, then the best thing to do is to, I know this sounds kind of weird, um, but if you go onto social medias and stuff, you follow voice actors, you'll usually see voice actors that are teaching classes,
Yeah.
like how to break into the business, how to record stuff. Those are excellent ways to not only learn the craft, but to get a foot in the door with knowing somebody who's in the craft, and they
Mm-hmm.
can get you connected through. And yes, it is a few $100s, but you're going to find out if you really want to be in this business, you're going to have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're going to have to continue to take courses, continue to get better, updated headshots, updated demo reels. These things cost money. You're going to spend money. This is not just the lark. Oh, I'd love to do voices for a cartoon. Yeah, no, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of gratification. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, um, but it is not a walk in the park. And if you don't really have the chops for it or know how to do it, you get sniffed out pretty quick. Um, so yeah, you want to get the basics down and then start honing in on the things, and take classes about how, not only how to do the actual physical aspects of making your voice deeper or higher or whatever, but doing things like don't touch the mic, always thank them, all these
Yeah.
etiquette things that people don't usually know, and they just go in and bust, hey, let me grab this shit, and move it around, and they just kills the director. Like, get them out of here. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of that kind of inside stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The director that cast me in One Piece, Joel McDonald,
Mm-hmm.
he has a book out. Um, and I can't recall the name of it, but it is about voice acting. And
Okay.
if you look him up, you'll find it. It's on Amazon, and it's a really good book. God, I feel bad that I don't remember the title of it, but he's got a lot of anecdotal stories and stuff that really will help an aspiring voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not like exactly a blueprint or anything, but it's mainly about what he's observed and what other people have said about the things, and the vibe that comes from all of it. So it's a very interesting read. It's not like, well, what you need to do is go do this, blah, blah, blah. There's
Yeah.
other books out there for that if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to just try to get into the business.
Yeah.
But that's my advice for anyone who wants to uh, get into the business. That's the way I feel you should go. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're just a natural at it, that's cool too.
Yeah.
If you're just amazingly born natural at it and you can just jump in and do it, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah. My God. What about theater on that end?
um, I miss the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done as much as uh I'd like to lately
Mm-hmm.
because I've had some physical problems I really don't want to get into.
Yep.
Um, but like I said, there's nothing better than a live action doing the theater. And
Mm-hmm.
to get into theater, it's basically the same kind of things. You try to get in as early as you can. Uh, Anyone pretty much can probably be cast in something that's a community theater or a church theater group. Just
Mm-hmm.
look up the shows, find a role that's good for you. Do a little research on it, see what it's like. Practice in front of your friends, your mom, your dad, stuff like that. And just give it a shot. And the main thing is enjoy yourself. If you're not having fun doing this, you shouldn't be doing it. And that's the only reason I'm doing it is I'm having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
If it ever came to a point where I thought this was just a bunch of crap, I would quit in a heartbeat. I'm a Scorpio. I stop stuff just like that if I don't like it. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't have a problem with turning it off and going back to my normal life again.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that right now because
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. So, I wrote this question down and it was very random. And Who would win in a fight between Roger and Jinbe? Don't know why I wrote that down, but I would like to get your thoughts.
Between uh, Roger from Attack on Titan.
Yep, and
Oh
Jinbe.
my god, it would it would yeah it would be no contest unless
Yeah.
Roger was on his steroids.
Yeah.
Um, However, I wanted to ask Oda about this
Mhm.
because whenever Jinbei is in the sea, he's a strong swimmer. He's fast and everything. But when he's on land, let's just admit it, he's the slowest of the runners.
Yeah.
He's kind of big and he's running in wooden sandals. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh shit! I hate when I do this. I had a train of thought going. What was it? Um,
Jinbe running.
he's strong.
Yeah.
If we were in a fight,
Yep.
there's something I wanted to ask Oda about.
Yeah.
If Jinbei's on land, can he just like piss in his hand and use that as a water shot? Or, I mean, does he have to have like a lake by him? I know it's kind of gross and everything, but I always think about that stuff. All he needs is just a
Oh
couple of
my
little bit
god.
of water.
Yeah.
So yeah, hold on a second. Hold here. Let me take a piss real quick. Don't mind me.
Oh my god.
So I will get to give the edge to Jinbei.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. Oh my god. Oh, I was not expecting it to go there. That's funny. Oh. What's your favorite like line from you've said from Jinbei or like kind of yeah.
Well, there aren't a whole lot of like a lot of the like Whitebeard. The
Yeah.
One Piece is real.
Yeah.
A lot of people have like a catchphrase line.
Yeah.
Jinbei really doesn't, other than Luffy.
Yeah.
But there are some moments that I really liked that
Mhm.
he's done. The second runner up is when he was returning the sake cup to Big Bomb. Here's your sake cup back, biatch. Um, I like that one, but my favorite scene of all time is when the blood transfusion scene between Luffy and Jinbei. Uh, After his fight with the shark guy and he
Mhm.
was about to die, and after the blood transfusion, that's when Luffy asked him to join the crew. But that whole scene of the blood transfusion where you're watching the blood go through the tube to the sound of the music just real slowly and
Oh.
everything, and they're both lying there on the beach, it's just one of the most beautiful scenes that I've ever seen.
Mhm.
And maybe I'm just biased because that's, to me, that's where it started. I
Yeah.
mean, even though he didn't join the crew until later on, to me that was the part that nailed it, because up until that point people kept coming up to me saying, "Hey, I heard that there's a rumor that Jinbei might join the crew." I'm like, no, ain't gonna happen. They got other people and stuff.
Yeah.
um they're like, yeah, but then when I found out that they were gonna do the Jinbei Funko Pop, oh my god, talk about everything being amped up to 10. That was like, it was so yeah, it was like, you think this is full throttle? Well, watch now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is just like, um so many people were asking me, are you excited? Because they're going to start asking you to do cons and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, they're what? Yeah, they're gonna be asking you to go to cons and sign and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm doing cons now, and it's been a little over a year, about a
Mhm.
year and a half now, where I started. I didn't know crap when I started. I wish there was a booklet on how to do cons. I've talked to like Mike McFarland. I said,
Yeah.
please write a book on
Yeah.
how to do these. You have so much knowledge, and I'm having to learn everything by hard knocks and
Yeah.
making mistakes and just getting better every time. But I am
Mhm.
getting better every time, and I only do these. I have a wife and a dog and a 92-year-old mother, so I don't like traveling a whole lot. I like to do like maybe a couple a month
Yeah.
when I can get them. Um, but I need some for next year. So if you know anybody, any cons that
Yeah.
you need me for next year. Yeah, yeah. Get in touch of conventions, etc.
Yep.
Chris at conventions, etc.
There
I
we
could
go.
use some
All the
gigs.
Canadians, come on.
Yeah, I want to go to Canada.
Yeah.
I really do.
God.
Be
Perfect.
fun.
All right. Thank you so much for being on. This was so much fun.
Sure.
Yeah. Where can the lovely people find you online?
Well, I'm on all the interwebs basically. I don't know all the names, but if you put in Daniel Baugh in X and
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook, you will find me. I'm also on um, the threads. Not on there that much. I'm mainly on X, and I hate X. I don't want to use it,
Yeah.
or but unfortunately, most of my fans are on X, and if I
Mhm.
could talk them all into going somewhere
Yeah.
else, and if they did it, that would be awesome. But
Yep.
they're kind of entrenched in it,
Yep.
so I'm kind of hoping that we can make X better than the owner.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. Um okay, go follow him. I will say a quick story before we go. The the day you followed me on I'm just gonna call it Twitter because fuck that. The day you followed me on Twitter, I was like in my bed and I'm like on a call and I'm like on my phone and then I see the notification. I was like, and I look and I was like, the voice of Jinbe just fucking followed me. And like my friend is like, what? Like I was like, I'm not okay.
I love when people freak out.
Yeah.
It's humbling. It cracks me up. And what's really funny is when my friend Henry, who's known
Yeah.
me all my life, is with me, and
Yeah.
someone freaks out, and he's like, "You're just Dan. What the hell? Why are they doing that?"
Yeah.
But
Oh my
yeah,
god.
it's funny. I'm
Yeah.
glad I made your day. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty approachable.
Oh yeah.
I try to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Perfect. Oh my goodness. Well, the lovely people at home, you can follow me at Corky Cosplays on Instagram, Adam Corky everywhere else, and subscribe to the Patreon because it keeps the lights on. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Oh, bye bye.